He's not saying that what Epstein did is a hoax. It's a terrible, unspeakable evil. He believes that himself. When he first heard the rumor, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He was an FBI informant to try to take this stuff down. The president knows and has great sympathy for the women who have suffered these unspeakable harms. It's detestable to him. He and I have spoken about this as recently as 24 hours ago.
That was lie after lie after lie after lie. First of all, the idea that he's not really calling it a hoax. No, he's calling it a hoax over and over and over again. And honestly, you could delete all of the hoax stuff, and everything else that he's said and not said about this is terrible and makes very clear that he doesn't give a damn about it, Mike Johnson. What part of everything Trump has said and done and not said and not done are you not getting that he doesn't care? He doesn't want anyone to talk about it. He doesn't want the DOJ to do anything to get to the bottom of what Epstein did, Maxwell did, any remaining accomplices out there. They are providing nothing but obstacles and roadblocks to that truth. And the idea, without any evidence whatsoever, that he has empathy or sympathy for these victims. Why are you saying this in a hallway to a camera? Why isn't he saying that to the goddamn victims? The victims of his longtime best friend, by the way. Why are you doing unpaid PR for Donald Trump when he's been incredibly clear about what he thinks about Epstein and Maxwell, by the way? He does have sympathy for Maxwell. Okay, he got nothing to say about the victims, not a word of empathy. He didn't show up at their meeting. He hasn't brought them to the Oval Office. But Maxwell was suffering in her maximum security prison, and he fixed that for her. You know what? She's not gonna say anything bad about him. She gets moved to a nice location. That's empathy, okay? And that's not a hoax. That really happened, and you don't seem to care at all about that, which is suspicious from your point too. But I guess the money quote there is he was an FBI informant. Now, for many of you who haven't been like in the depths of 4chan and everything, that may seem like just a random thing for him to say, but it's important that you know that that is kind of the official QAnon explanation for why Donald Trump was friends with Epstein the entire time, because they needed to do copium. I mean, I care about the victims of sex trafficking hypothetically, and yet Donald Trump was a best friend to a sex predator for decades. Why would that be? Oh, he was just embedded there by law enforcement to take him down. That's based on absolutely nothing, but that's the copium they use. That's what Mike Johnson is referencing right there. And it was so on its face ridiculous that his office is already backing off of it just a couple of days ago. They put out this statement in the last day saying, the speaker's reiterating what the victim's attorney said, which is that Donald Trump, who kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago, was the only one more than a decade ago willing to help prosecutors expose Epstein for being a disgusting child predator. So look, the victim's attorney is not claiming that he was an FBI informant. And this idea that after years and years and years of being friends, finally, in Trump's own words, only because Epstein stole an employee of his, he finally, maybe years after that, banned him from Mar-a-Lago, that is evidence that he cared about sex trafficking and was trying to take him down, is like, I don't even need to talk about this because it's not convincing to anyone who can be convinced. And I'm including many MAGA people who do not buy this BS at all. Nobody buys that Donald Trump is some warrior for justice in this regard. Some people might have thought it during the campaign that he would be. It is abundantly clear to them that is never gonna happen at this point. And so even more, but JR, feel free to jump in. What do you think about Mike Johnson?
Yeah, for sure, man. Mike Johnson, I don't want people to forget, he called himself Moses. He said he was chosen by God and to be in this position. Chosen by God to be in the position to be a part of now, trying to protect Donald Trump, who's protecting child sex traffickers, his name from being exposed from whatever capacity that he is on these records of what it is that went down from his best friend, to the point now he lies so fluidly. He didn't even realize how quickly he can jump from Donald Trump didn't call this a hoax to Donald Trump, I talked to him every day and he said he's the most disgusting thing ever, to the fact that Donald Trump was an FBI informant. He rolled through that so damn fast, he didn't even know it hit yet. This is how like this addiction is to power and influence that these kind of folks have. They just start adopting the rabid nature of this guy's lies. Donald Trump is such an extreme liar. Anyone that's near him starts catching that same contagion. I mean, not to say that Mike Johnson was never absolutely an effing liar his whole life, but he now does it so fluidly, he can't even think about it anymore. Somehow, saying, Edwards, this attorney, saying that at some point Donald Trump didn't think this was a hoax, it actually wanted to help. Somehow that connects to him being an FBI informant. It somehow connects to them because they're spoiled on their supporters, lapping up everything that they'll say. Up is not down, gas prices are not down. I mean, it's insane. Everything that they say, they get the response that they want. So where are the consequences? We have to start giving them some consequences.
Yeah, and that could come in the form of politics or whatever, politics for Trump. Also, by the way, this doesn't just reflect poorly on Trump. Like, let's not miss that Mike Johnson is lying to America to participate actively in the cover-up of sex trafficking, sex crimes. And we can't vote him out necessarily. Most of us don't live in his district or whatever. He's a Christian man, right? We hear that all the time. Why has he not been thrown out of his church? Why does his church not care that he is actively covering up for sex crimes? That he is like a willful accomplice to one of the most notorious, Trump himself accused by dozens of women. Trump is obviously trying to cover up these crimes and to protect other powerful men who are accomplices in these crimes. And Mike Johnson is actively participating in that. Where is his church? Where is his goddamn pastor, whatever the hell it is, who's supposed to be his like guide in moral matters? This is what Mike Johnson is doing, pretending that they care about these victims. And by the way, let's say that there's no consequence or whatever. I just want this to be a reminder of all of these goddamn fake ass Christians that imply that because they swear they love this book or whatever, that they're more moral than you, have better values than you. What did the Bible do to help Mike Johnson end up on the right side of this story? It did nothing, okay? There are plenty of atheists, plenty of agnostics, plenty of people of other religions that do want the truth, that do care about the victims. But for Mike Johnson, didn't do a goddamn thing, okay? Because however much he professes to love the Bible, he loves his position of power and influence and the paycheck he gets infinitely more. If you enjoyed that, make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming an actual member. But you're probably wondering, why the hell would I do that, John? First off, calm down. The stakes in this are very, very low. But also, when you click the join button and you become a member, you get access to bonus content that I make every week, and it's a ton of fun. You get access to tons of custom emojis and more besides that. By the way, if you join at tier 3, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself and other awesome people, and we always have a great time. By the way, you'll get all that going forward, but you also unlock years of the back catalog. That is literally 100 or more bonus clips, top 10 lists, debates, and more. What are you waiting for? Click the join button below. Your support powers our show, and we couldn't do it without you. Or at the very least, I wouldn't really want to try. Viewers like you keep me here. So thank you in advance for joining.